Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I'm a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting with Cupid Hayes, founder and CEO of Arrow Advising, a visionary brand and identity coaching firm with over 30 years of experience as a Hollywood actress and award-winning casting director. Cupid empowers individuals and businesses to embrace their authentic selves and elevate their brands to new heights. How you doing today, Cupid?
Great. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Yeah, it's a pleasure meeting with you again. I know we spoke before. I really enjoyed our conversation. I think a lot of people out there would really benefit from getting to know you a little bit better. So, how about we start off? Where are you calling in from? Where are you at?
And so right now I am located in Arizona, but I split my time between here in Los Angeles and Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay, I got you. I've been to none of those places. So,
Oh,
if
wow.
if I could pick one to go to, where would you recommend I go, and what would you recommend I do there?
Oh my gosh. Probably Providence, Rhode Island. Have you ever been to Chicago?
Oh yeah, been to Chicago.
Then I say Providence is the Chicago of the East Coast.
Okay,
So there's lots of really good food. There's beautiful scenery that you don't really have in Chicago, and you have access to the beach. And everything is fresh. Like if you're a seafood lover, you got to be in Providence.
okay, I got you. What's the go-to seafood out there? What's the dish that I'd have to try if I visit?
Oh my gosh. Everything from clams to crab cakes, although crab cakes are best in Maryland. Um, scallops. Scallops are absolutely amazing in Providence.
Okay. Well, I'll have to try. I'm not the biggest seafood fan, but I can definitely appreciate when something's really good, even if it's not my favorite. So I'll have to
Yes.
try it.
And
So,
Italian,
okay, well,
definitely Italian food. Any and every kind of Italian food.
sold. Yeah, pasta, pizza, sign me up. I'm there.
Oh,
So
yes.
awesome, awesome. So, what can you tell us about what you're doing? Arrow Advising. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, so I have been coaching for over 30 years, and it started out with my casting. And so I'm a trained actor. And what I tell people is that I am a professional human being, and the job of an actor is to be your true, authentic self at all times. You have to live the life of that character and be completely brave and open and honest about it. And it's about listening. And these are all the things that are necessary for growing a business, for being who you are, for pitching yourself. And I would have actors come in, and all of my auditions would turn into workshops because I would see their nervousness. I would see that they weren't in touch with who they were. And in Hollywood, it's all about type. And so I'd have bright-eyed, bushy-tailed girls come into my office and say, "Yeah, I'm the perfect girl next door." And I'd say, "Okay, but which girl next door are you? Are you the one baking cookies? Or are you the one with your ex-boyfriend tied up in the basement torturing him?" Like, which you have to be very specific, and you have to know who you are so you can let that shine through what you do. And that is the case in every business. People who want to do business with you, they want to do business with you, and they can't do that if they don't know who you are, and you can't serve them if you don't know who you are. And so that is what I coach people through, getting to the basics of their identity, their brand, and making sure they are being seen the way they want to be seen. And they're not having society dictate their identity to them.
Okay. Yeah, well, I've never met that kind of girl next door, thankfully. So
Yes.
that would have
Hopefully, I hope you have it.
yeah, not that I know of. It hasn't come up, but okay, I got you. What are some like real life examples where you've been able to help somebody hone in on that brand?
Oh my gosh. So for example, I had a girl come to me when I was working with Columbia College, and she loved dress up. She loved costuming. She wanted to be a costume character at Disney. And she also loved fashion. And I said, well, let's just put these things together and discuss why you like it so much. And she just liked having that freedom of play pretend. And I said, okay, so that's what you're selling. You're selling the spirit of play to people. And I taught her to almost do what I do, is to hone in on a person, figure out what they like, what they're all about, and translate that into a costume character. And so she would make these amazing costumes that you would only see at Disney. And so she would create these amazing teddy bears for people, and they would be worn mainly during Halloween and during festivals. And I helped her create a business out of that. And so there were brands that wanted a costume character, but they didn't know quite what it would be. And so I helped her build her business around that. And she was making a lot of money before she even graduated college. And I helped her through what classes were going to help her be the best business person as well as being the best costume designer.
Okay. So everybody that comes from you is going to have slightly different experience. You're going to help them find,
Oh,
a
yes.
different area. What's your favorite thing? What's the commonality between all of them that keeps you, loving what you're doing?
It's that moment of discovery. And I even say this on my website, but it's kind of cheeky, but true to my name, I like to make people fall in love with themselves. And so there's always this moment where you've laid everything out and you see the little light go on. And so I say, I live for the moment the arrow strikes and I hold up a mirror and they look at it and they say, oh my God, that's me. I love it. And that's what keeps me going. It's getting people past their fears, getting people past the self-abuse and the self-talk and the negative talk, and getting them to a place where they are completely confident in who they are and what they have to offer the world.
That's beautiful. We we definitely need more of that because people could definitely use some better self talk for one, but
Yes.
really finding what they love about themselves. I like that. So you've been doing it for over 30 years. You've obviously had some hard won lessons over that time. What's something that if you were to start over today, you would do different?
I would do it sooner. I really love my life. I got to accomplish a lot in the acting world. I got to work with amazing people. And it's hard to say what you would change because it's made me the person that I am today. But I wish someone had pulled me aside and helped me not be so afraid. And the industry, especially in Hollywood, the entire town runs on fear. And I really love working with youth today because I feel like this generation is conditioned away from being introspective. And they're very put upon, and they have their identities dictated to them by social media and by peer pressure and bullying. And no one ever takes them aside and says to them, you don't have to be afraid. It's okay to be who you are and not have to fit into a box. And I wish someone had told me that sooner because as an actor, you spend so much time trying to fit everyone's mold of who you're supposed to be. And as an English girl in Hollywood, that was already in my 20s by the time I got there. I entered Hollywood during the American Pie era. So I was too old to play a college kid, and I was too young to be the mum. And so I ended up playing a lot of officers and cops and attorneys, and it was amazing. But I beat myself up a lot because I couldn't be that person that the industry said I was supposed to be.
Okay. So obviously you can help most folks because everybody's dealing with some sort of that could definitely use help. But if there's like one commonality between all of your clients that if somebody has this as a pain point, they should definitely talk to you. What does that look like?
That pain point is how do I put myself into what I do? I work with a lot of client-facing professionals who deal with a lot of competition, for example, realtors and finance professionals, and they don't sit and think about, we all do the same thing, but how do I differentiate myself in the market and really let my personality and my style shine through in the way I sell homes or the way I help people with their finances? And there's no one there to really guide them through that. They all think that they just have to post more or they have to be in social media all the time, but they don't know what their message is. And so everyone's conditioned to sell the sizzle, and we're all forgetting about the quality of the steak. And that's what I help people get to. So I work with young adults, I work with people in transition, people for whom their identities have been wrapped up in being a mother, or being a husband, or being a wife, or being a CEO of a company, and they get laid off, or the kid goes off to college and they don't know who they are anymore. I work with a lot of people like that and young adults trying to figure out what they want their majors to be, how they want to enter the world and be seen.
Okay. So yeah, you can do common things, but you can do it in a unique way. You can do it in your way, kind of, is what you're saying. That's awesome.
Exactly. And I teach people what their way is.
I like that. I like that a lot. How about power partners, people that you work well with that you might be able to refer back and forth to that you can help in one area, they help in another.
I work well with people who are authentic and people who realize that sales is really service and they feel a calling to give something back to the world. It's not just about making the money. It's about really feeding your own soul and feeding those around you.
Okay. What would you tell somebody if, if they're going through a little bit of this and they're asking you, how do I find better direction in my career?
You book a call with me and we go over what your pain points are and why you see them as pain points. Because oftentimes we are, of course, our own worst self-critics. And it's about figuring out what that language is that you tell yourself and that you've bought into. And we unravel that and then get into where do you want to be in 5 years? Because the sky really is the limit. And every day is a new day to reinvent yourself. So who do you want to be?
Yeah, I like that. Is there anything that I failed to ask that you wanted to mention?
Let's see. I would say don't be afraid to make that call. I know there are a lot of websites out there and everyone says, oh, book a call with me. It's not about selling you, it's about serving you. And the way I can help you is to know you better and help you get to know yourself, whether that's getting to know yourself again or getting to know yourself for the first time and answering those questions that no one has asked you and helping you have that confidence to stand on your own and be proud of who you are and be ready to present that to the world in a new way.
How do people book that call? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
They can go to my site, arrowadvising.com. There's a little button in the top corner and in the main page that just says book a chat. And so the chats are free. It doesn't hurt to ask the question. And, like my mom used to always say, she said, no is never going to kill you. Like the worst anyone could ever say is no, and it's never going to kill you. And reach out. Why not?
Perfect. And that's great advice. If anybody thinks that, Cupid could be of assistance to them, book that call, have that conversation. Worst case scenario, it's not the best fit, but then so I advise every one of you that's listening to, give her a call, have that conversation, learn a little bit about yourself that maybe you don't know. You're too close to it. What's this phrase? You're too close to you're missing the trees for the forest.
Yes,
So
exactly.
take a look. But if anybody wants to get a hold of Cupid, please reach out. If you're a little shy and you want a three-way introduction, ask me. I'm more than happy to make that introduction for you. But anybody else out there that wants to be interviewed, feel free to reach out to me directly as well. I'll have my link tree along with Cupid's website in the description below. So feel free to hop on there and book a call with me as well. But Cupid, I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on. I really value everything that you're saying. And I know we're going to have more conversations in the future.
Yes.
But again, let's all get out there and meet some people. All right.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Anthony. Have a great day.
Absolutely my pleasure.